guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. Now I am going to be frank and tell you that most of these things I didn't have to do them because I had an amazing agent that did them for me. But after having some conversations with some of my friends, I found out that they didn't have the same experience, probably because we didn't use the same agent. So I decided to make a video more like an awareness for you guys out there, especially those coming to Ukraine, so you can know what to do beforehand. Okay, first I'm going to tell you, you should actually do this before coming to Ukraine if it's possible, and that's to find out when registration into a new semester ends. I have a friend here. She came in September, right? She came in September, and unfortunately for her agent was very nonchalant and wasn't giving her a lot of information. So the agent kept stalling her until November, when registration had closed, and then she had to do language course, which wasn't necessary because she came early. So if possible, try to find out from your agent when registration day closes before you enter the country. I also had another friend, and then she told me that before she left her country, she kept asking her agent, what is she coming to do? Is she coming to do first year, she's starting first year, or is she starting language course? And the agent kept telling her, oh, she's going to study, she's going to meet up with classes. And the agent wasn't really answering the question directly. The agent kept telling her, don't worry, everything is going to be fine, everything is going to be okay. But the agent wasn't hitting the nail at the agent wasn't hitting the hammer at the nail until she got here. She was going to do language course. Of course, if the agent had told her before, it wouldn't have stopped anything from happening. She already has her visa and everything, but at least she would have prepared herself, you know, okay, I'm not coming to start first year and everything. But coming here and finding out, it was very sad for her, you know. She really felt crushed and everything. So if possible, try to find out from your agent even before you get to the country when registration day closes what exactly you're coming to do. If you're coming to do language course because you're coming late, unfortunately, or if you're coming to start first year. My next point, accommodation. Now this, I have had this story from more than 5 people actually, not just in my city but in other cities. Their agent don't tell them exactly where they're going to stay, and then when they come, they end up spending weeks in a hotel, and they end up spending a lot of money unbudgeted for. So find out from your agent on time where you're going to stay before you enter the country. For example, if your agent tells you on time, okay, you're going to stay in a hotel for so long, then you and your family can plan it out financially. Okay, this money is going to be for accommodation for this week, this is going to be your feeding and everything. But some people are not aware of where they're going to stay, and unfortunately they don't really ask because they think, oh, the agent has everything covered, and then when they come here, they're a bit stranded because they end up spending some money that they kept aside for things like feeding and school on accommodation. Some agents will go the extra mile and find a very cheap place for you to stay, or even put in the house of an African or someone from your place just to make it more comfortable and to help you fit in. That was the case for me. When I came, my agent made me feel so much at home. I stayed with Africans and it was so welcoming, and I didn't have to pay a lot of money for accommodation because we were very welcoming and very receiving. Before I finally found my ground, and before I finally knew, okay, I was going to stay in a hostel, you know. But some people don't notice. They just say, okay, they just feel like their agency or the money they pay the agent has everything covered, and then when they come here, the agents are telling them, oh, pay for this and pay for that. Ask your agent before time so that you can plan ahead and know, okay, this is the amount I'm going to keep aside for it. And so you don't come here and start taking money from places that you didn't plan to touch, or for money you didn't plan to use so soon. The next thing you're going to do after you get into the country, after you've settled in a place to stay, is to start registration into the school. Now, I'm not going to tell you how to do that because I'm not an agent. I don't know that your agent is going to do that with you, but I'm telling you what to expect. What to expect, so that when you enter the country, you're not so overwhelmed, or you're just like looking around, you don't know what to do next. The agent will take you through all this process. It usually takes some days, sometimes a week, depending on your city, depending on how it's done in your place. And then after registration, you're going to start school, be it language course or first year. Now, while carrying out all the registration to get into school, you're also going to be filling some forms and everything to get your COVID card. This also usually takes a while, but it's something that your agent is going to walk you through. SIM card, a Ukrainian SIM card. How do I get a SIM card? Who do I get a SIM card from? This is very basic and it's not going to take you a lot of time. It's not going to take you like 30 minutes tops or less to get it. So while you're settling in Ukraine, while carrying out your registration, you and your agent or you and a friend can go and get a Ukrainian SIM card. Of course, this is important because you're going to meet people here that will definitely need your number, the school, some friends you're going to meet, and of course you can't really talk to them all the time with WhatsApp. So getting a SIM card is a basic step that you're going to take next. Now, some people have bank cards from their country that they use here. Okay, so their parents send their money through these cards and they just swipe or they use it here. Okay, now this is fine if you don't mind, for example, the charge, because of course you're getting money from another country and everything. The charge is usually high. But if you know that you don't have a card or your card doesn't work here from your country, or you know that the charge is high, I think it's best you get a Ukrainian card, especially if you're coming to Ukraine with a lot of money. A lot of people come here with their school fees, and I would not advise you to be carrying this around, especially if you're living in a hostel. I'm not trying to say they're still in the hostel, but anything can happen. You can lose it very easily, you know. Pick up. Who is picking you up at the airport? This is actually more important, because before you even enter the city, before you start having this accommodation process and everything, who is picking you up from the airport? Find out from your agent who is picking you up from the airport. This is very important so that you can get acquainted with this person if possible beforehand, so you don't get there and get stranded. I had a friend that said that when she got to the Kyiv airport, she had to wait for hours for the person her agent sent to come and pick her up, and this is a very bad experience to have, especially in a new country. So find out who's picking you up. If possible, try to get acquainted with the person before you land, just so that nothing takes you unawares. Okay, yeah, the accommodation one sounds very basic. It sounds very basic. Oh, you should know the accommodation, you should know where you're going to stay before you get to the country. No, it's as crazy as it sounds. A lot of people don't know where they're going to stay until they actually get into the country. I have a video, I will post the link somewhere above, about accommodation to help you decide before you get into the country the kind of accommodation you want to have, so things are not so difficult or unexpected. And of course, as always, I'm going to put the link to my agent down below on my video so you can visit their page, because honestly I didn't have to go through most of these things. My agent got me my SIM card when I came to the country. I didn't have to bother about that. They told me about my registration and they helped me with everything. They provided me with an accommodation and I didn't have to spend so much money on that. So all these things, I actually didn't have to experience them because I had such an amazing agent. But I know unfortunately some people don't, and they end up being in bad situations. I know a friend that told me her agent took a lot of money from her for accommodation. She was staying in a hotel and she wasn't paying directly to the hotel people, so the agent was extorting money from her for the hotel. And how she found out was later, after she had all settled in and everything and she had gotten used to the system, then she found out how much the hotel actually cost. So these are my 6 basic points of what you should know or what you should do as you're getting into Ukraine. As usual, I hope you found this video very informative. See you in my next video.